which is over a decade old now. And I remember playing it in 2011 or 12 when this was published. A friend of mine gave me a copy of it or borrowed it, and I played for like a few hours and just let it go because I did not like this setting. I wasn't really a fantasy open world enjoyer back then. I picked it up. I also left it because I did not approve the animations. It was way too clunky even for the early 2010s. It was way too clunky, like the melee animations, the magic animations, the bow animations were quite alright in my opinion, but everything else was just clunky. I did not like it at all. And then I picked it up during Christmas time, and I played this game like, I don't know, 5-6 hours a day during Christmas holidays. And I remember my first character was an Argonian. I have no idea why I picked Argonian, but they're basically the most useless race. Their special ability is to, what was it, that you can breathe underwater, which is completely useless and so unnecessary compared to the other races. For like the high elves, they had like a 50 points magicka bonus right from the start, or the Bretons could regenerate magicka twice as fast. And when you compare it to the, or you can breathe underwater, wow, you get what I mean. And my second character, which I binged like 5 or 6 hours a day, like I mentioned, was a Khajiit. And everyone who played Skyrim knows that every character or build ends up in Stealth Archer. Then I grinded like the archery, and it is probably the most beginner-friendly build, like Stealth Arching, because the damage stacks up when you do stealth damage. Like usually it's like twice the damage, but it gets built up after you level the archery level skill. Yeah, and I do still play this game on PC. I played it on PlayStation 3. Then I played it on Xbox, and now I played it on PC. And I've got this game modded to the absolute maximum. Like, maybe I could insert a few screenshots of my current playthrough in modded Skyrim, so you get what I mean. Like, this is the German version, I can read it out loud. Die Rückkehr des Fantasy-Epos. Die Drachen sind nach Tamriel zurückgekehrt. Nur die Schriftrolle der Altvorderen berichten von ihrer Existenz. Die Zukunft der Provinz Himmelsrand und sogar des ganzen Kaiserreichs hängen am seidenen Faden. Doch die alten Prophezeien kündigen auch von einem Retter, dem Drachenblut. Ein Held, der mit der Macht der Stimme geboren wurde und der Einzige gegenzustellen vermag. You've got this giant right over here. And this is actually a scene from the trailer. Like, here's a Dragonborn with the iconic iron helmet, which ironically is one of the shittiest helmets in the entire game, but aesthetically looks like one of the best. Like the elven one looks pretty neat. Steel plate helmet looks absolutely nice and epic. And I've got a mod in which you can see the eyes. Like in the vanilla games you can't see the eyes through the steel plate because it's black. The black gets removed and you can see the character's eyes. And I usually go for the Nord build. My favorite build in this game is probably the spell sword, like a sword in one hand and a magic trick on the other. I usually go with destruction magic and conjuration. And healing, of course, like restoration. Okay, let's move on with the next trigger, which will be... It's actually not a game, but it's the DLCs from Skyrim, which are Dawnguard, Dragonborn and Heartfire, which are, change my mind, probably one of the best DLCs ever released for a game. I think the only DLCs that can keep up in the role-playing franchise are the Witcher you can't regenerate health when it's bright outside, which sucks. And when you join the Dawn Guard, you can theoretically get infinite arrows and bolts for your crossbow, which is why I joined the Dawn Guard. And then there's this Heartfire DLC. And there's 3 locations you can build your house on, which is Valgrief, Morthal or Dawnstar, and I also go for the Valgrief one, which is a no-brainer for me because it has the most beautiful view in it. It's like in a wood, and the other 2 ones are in a swamp and in a snowy area. I don't like the aesthetics at all, and I feel like the Valgrief one is definitely the safest because you can adopt children. You can adopt up to 2 children and even more with mods, but I don't adopt children because they are very annoying in this game, and they all look like a sack of potatoes. Like, their faces look like they're made of potatoes. Everyone who played Skyrim knows what I mean. Like, they have 2 models for children's faces and they all look the same. And then there's this Dragonborn DLC, which is probably the best bang for buck. It costs as much as the Dawn Guard DLC, but in this DLC you actually get to go to Solstheim, which is in Morrowind and not in Skyrim itself, and you get an entire new entire new area which you can discover, which is mostly covered in sand or snow. Like, the south is covered in sand and dust, and the north is covered in snow, just like Skyrim. And you have to defeat the first Dragonborn. You are basically the current Dragonborn, and you have to fight the first Dragonborn, which is Mirak, which is a pretty cool boss fight. I don't want to spoil too much, but you have to defeat his dragons. And Mirak basically heals himself 3 times. But the reward is pretty cool. I like the helmet of him, which does look pretty aesthetically pleasing, but it does have the same effect as like an adept hood. Like, you have 50 extra magicka or something. Yeah. If you have never played Skyrim and you like role-playing games, you definitely should. Okay, let's move on with this game, which is Far Cry 4, which is, in my opinion, the last good Far Cry, because Far Cry 5 was, I didn't like it. It does not have a proper storyline. Like, you have these different areas you have to work quests in, and then you get to go to the boss battle, if you can call it that. But this one has a narrow storyline. I think this is also, with Far Cry 3, the most aesthetically pleasing open world. Like, you get to explore this island, and this is the villain. Oh, he's also here. The villain of the game, Pagan Min. He's a pretty cool villain, but nothing compared to the villain in Far Cry 3, which was Vaz, which is probably the best villain in the entire series. When I was younger, I really enjoyed the Ubisoft formula, if you can call it that. Like, you get access to the rest of the map if you climb on towers. Yeah, I really like Far Cry 4. Far Cry 6 is absolute garbage. Far Cry 5 was okay-ish, and Far Cry 3 and 4 are absolutely goated in the series. Okay, let's move on with the next trigger, which is South Park Stick of Truth. And this is pretty much a no-brainer for all South Park fans who also enjoy the series, which I do. I really love the series, especially from from season 6 to season 11 or 12 are, in my opinion, the best series. The best, what you call, not episodes, Staffeln, what you call Staffeln in English. Season, it's, yeah, the best season. For everyone who is new here, English is not my first language, but you probably have noticed already. I thought I just mention it again. You've got Cartman over here. You got Kyle. You got Kenny as Princess Kenny, which is a pretty cool fight. And you've got Stan, and you've got Little Butters. Little Butters. Who is probably the most innocent character in the entire South Park series. He used to get stepped on a lot in the earlier seasons, but I think he stepped up as Captain Chaos. Was it called Captain Chaos? Yeah, I think so. This is pretty much a round-based RPG. Like, the combat was pretty boring, but I really enjoyed how they have created basically the entire South Park town as a playable map. And the cutscenes, they look like as if they are just scenes from the series itself. Like, the quality is really good, and the humor is exactly like in the series. Yeah. One funny thing is, this is rated 18, even though this series is rated 16, PG-16, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on with the next game I own physically. Yeah, I own many more games on digitally on Steam, Uplay, Origin, what else? GOG or Epic Games or whatever. There are so many launches. This is Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is a pretty decent game. It's basically a game in which it sets in the 1960s, I believe, and it is a game in which the Nazis won the Second World War, and they've basically created mech soldiers like this one over here. And you have to get to fight against, and you can also wield assault rifles like akimbo, like on two hands. I really like that. This game is so nuts, and you get to play as BJ Blazkowicz. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's a Polish name. I can read out the backside, which is also German. Wir schreiben das Jahr 1960. Das Regime hat den Krieg gewonnen. BJ Blazkowicz muss das Unmögliche wagen und zum Gegenschlag gegen das faschistische Regime ausholen, das die Welt unterworfen hat. And you see, it has pretty decent ratings as well. And this dude, like Blazkowicz, looks exactly like the German actor, which also played in Inglourious Basterds, Til Schweiger. Til Schweiger, which is a pretty decent movie. I really like it. I like World War II movies in general, even though it has, like Inglourious Basterds, has a more comical approach to it. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on with the next one, which is Metro, which is one of the most immersive games I've ever played. Like, you get to play in these Russian subway systems. If you call it subway systems, I hope you get what I mean. Because the surface area is full of radioactivity. Can read it out loud. Entdecke nach dem Atomkrieg, eine der letzten Enklaven der Menschheit. Die unheimlichen Tunnel Moskauer U-Bahn und und die verstrahlten Ruinen an der Oberfläche sind dein Kampfgebiet voller unheimlicher Gegner. Kämpfe und überlebe dort, wo Sauerstoff und Licht rar sind. Jede einzelne Kugel zählt. I really like the survival aspect of this game. Like, this is not a Call of Duty in which you just empty your magazine 24/7, like you shoot, but you don't. In this one you have to be really careful about ammo consumption. Like, you always have a few bullets and you have to really be cautious not to run out of ammo, especially mid-fight. You get to fight against these radioactive monsters. I don't have the proper vocabulary for that, but I hope you get what I mean. Like these monsters and basically abominations, but also against humans. But I did prefer to fight against these monsters. Okay, let's move on with Dirt Rally, which is a rally game, obviously, like here. But this is not an arcade rally, it is a simulator, which I enjoy. I play this game like once in a month or every 2 months or something. In my opinion, like the Dirt series is the best rally game series. Like it had a more arcade-based approach to it in the earlier games, like in 1, 2, 3, 4, which I also played. I played Dirt 2 on my PlayStation 3 back then. Yeah. But this one is really... Can you say realistic? Is a video game realistic? I don't know. But it is way more punishing. And there is no rewind button in this. And what I really enjoy about the Dirt series in general are the car models and how they can get damaged. Like in other games like Forza Horizon, if you crash, nothing happens with the car, like physically. But this one has a proper damage model system. You may end up in the finish line with just 3 wheels or even 2, which is funny. Oh, and what I really enjoy, what I really missed in Dirt 2 was there was no snow maps, but in this there are, like here. I must admit I only use cars which are made in 2010 or later, because the earlier cars are so much more to handle, so much more difficult to handle. Like the cars from the 1960s or 70s, you have to be really pro to handle these type of cars. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on with this game. You all know it, it's Call of Duty. This is the only Call of Duty I own physically. I also played Modern Warfare 2, like the from 2022, like the reboot. And this was my first Call of Duty I owned. I played Modern Warfare 2, like the first one that came in 2009. I played that one a lot when I was at my friend's house. But Call of Duty Black Ops 1, like the first one, there are 4 in total, and there's one coming up this year. Like there's going to be 5 or 6, but the 5th, like there's Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, there's Cold War, it is not called Black Ops, and there's this one coming this year, which has a new movement system, which I'm pretty excited about, but I'm not gonna spend $70 on a game which has only like a year's support, and I just abandon it and get on with the new game. But this Call of Duty Black Ops 1 has a really special place in my heart. I remember grinding like games and not real world money. We've got Frank Woods, which is the GOAT character in the Black Ops series with Mason. Screw Hudson. I don't like Hudson at all. You've got Alex Mason and David Mason, which is Alex Mason's son, and you get to play him in a second game. But Alex Mason is probably the GOAT. He is the GOAT, he's not probably the GOAT, he is the GOAT. There's this one scene where Frank Wood approaches Mason, and Mason says, "Woods, you look like hammered shit." And he says, "This is Nam, baby." This is Nam, as in Vietnam. Okay, we've got Fallout 4, which is, I admit, my first Fallout game. I played back in 17 or 18. I think this one was released in 2015. There was some sort of, can you call it shitstorm, or I don't know, like bad reviews about this game being way more casual and way more simple. I haven't played Fallout New Vegas. I started it and I played like 2 hours or so. Like, they complained that the dialogue system was simplified to the absolute maximum. I guess Bethesda did it to be more casual friendly, and they got more people to play it and earn more money from it, I guess. We've got this iconic Vault Boy right over here. But I did enjoy this a lot. This is a Bethesda game I did not mod. What was this character called? Was it Preston? He always came to you and said something like, "Oh, another settlement needs your help. I'll mark it on your map," which became a viral meme. "Oh, you finished the game, that's great, but another settlement needs your help. Another settlement needs your help." Okay. Let's move on with the next game, which is Assassin's Creed Unity, which is the 5th or 6th, I'm not quite sure, Assassin's Creed game. I really loved Assassin's Creed game. I played the first 5. I almost played every game except what was the Assassin's Creed called, that game with Unity but on old gen? I'm not quite sure. It was Assassin's Creed Rogue, which I did not enjoy. My favorite Assassin's Creed games were the Ezio trilogy, like Assassin's Creed 2, then Brotherhood and Revelations. And I was so happy that Revelations was set in Constantinople and they all spoke Turkish there. And every time Ezio ran through the cities and pushed someone, they always said slurs, which was so funny, like Esholeshek or something like that, which basically means son of a donkey or something like that. Esholeshek. And I like the more historically accurate approach of the earlier games. Like, okay, I mean, it's a fantasy game and not based on reality, but in my opinions, the new Assassin's Creed, like the newest one, is called Shadows, I think, and before that was Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, sounds Arabic, like the heaven for Vikings, like all the honorable warriors go to Valhalla or something. I'm not that deep into Nordic mythology. Then it was Odysseus, and before that Origins, and they had a more fantasy-like approach to them with like you could get a mount which was on fire, or you could ride a bear, and you get swords which are on fire or emit some sort of, I don't know, chemical gas, can you call it that? Like venom or something. I like the earlier games more. I wish they would just remaster the first. They did do a remaster, no, it was a remaster, but it was not good at all. Like, you could barely see a difference. But if there would be a proper remake of the first, up to 4 games, it will be absolutely amazing. The third one was okay. The third one was okay, in my opinion. The third one was okay. And I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4 with Edward Kenway, with pirate-ish settings, where you could upgrade your ship and stuff. Like, it was called Jackdaw, I think. Was it called Jackdaw? The ship in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. If I remember properly, it was called Jackdaw. Last copy, which is way too dusty because I haven't touched this in a while. Which is like this, some sort of collector box of Alan Wake, which I haven't finished to this day. I don't know why, honestly. Like, it comes with this cardboard. Like, these are real postcards. Welcome to Bright Falls, the home of the annual Deer Fest. This beautiful mountain scenery. With the same setting. Or this watchtower, some sort of thing. Watchtower. The most beautiful in the heart of the Pacific Northwest. This little houses and a sign which says Bright Coal Falls Mine. No, it says Bright Falls Coal Mine. Sasalili. If you know the meme, you get what I mean. And the last one, which is the Watchtower by night. I've also got this controller, which is dusty. Everything you've seen so far. This is the PlayStation 4 controller. To this day, I do not own a PlayStation 5. It's simply not necessary for me, because I do own a pretty decent PC, and all the PlayStation exclusive games are coming to PC anyways, like God of War, which is a 10 out of 10 game. God of War, and I'm pretty sure God of War Ragnarok will also come to PC sooner or later. Or Horizon Zero Dawn, which I enjoyed, but I think, hate me, I think it was pretty overrated. Like, it was really pretty. Like, this game was really pretty, and it was new to fight against animals that were made out of metal, which is pretty cool. But I think everything, like the story, was really lackluster. And like I mentioned earlier, I did play on PlayStation first. Like, my first ever console was a PlayStation 1. then I got a 2 and then a 3, and when I was like 14 or 15 I switched to Xbox. Just because all my friends played on Xbox. But I must admit that PlayStation has the far better exclusive games like God of War, The Last of Us, which is a really nice game. What else? Like LittleBigPlanet, if you know this game. I also used to play it a lot, like this 2D platformer. Yeah, Xbox had like a few racing games and Halo, which is pretty nice. But I never played Halo. I was more of a Call of Duty kind of man or kid. I hope you enjoyed this video, despite me not having a real script and I'm just rambling on and on. I also have a few PlayStation games like 3. I haven't used my PlayStation for gaming for 4 years now, and I only use it to play DVDs. Okay, let's move on with the PlayStation games. I also have an Xbox controller, but not an Xbox console. I also have this Xbox controller, which is the Xbox One controller, which hasn't been cleaned in a while. I just noticed that. And what I do think does the Xbox does better is are the controllers, which are way more sturdy. Like, they feel so much more high quality. Like the PlayStation ones, I can do a little comparison. I don't know if you can hear it. I think the PlayStation 4 controllers were definitely an improvement to the PlayStation 3 ones, because they felt really cheap, but it's still, compared to the Xbox controller, not that good. Like, it's way more sturdy. And I prefer the Xbox controller more, like, because it fits in my hand way better like this. Like the PlayStation 1 is a little bit too small for my hands. I don't know if you can see it. Like this fits way better. Yeah, I used to play Xbox 360, mostly GTA 5, which has been published to 3 different generations now, like the Xbox 360, like the Xbox One, and what's the most recent one? Series X or S, I don't know. But it was also released on PlayStation 3, 4 and 5. And I am really excited about GTA 6. Like, I watched the trailer and it looked so nice. And I must say, Rockstar, it's about time we get GTA 6. Like, there's this meme going on which says, we basically got X before GTA 6. I also have very few PlayStation games remaining. The good thing about physical copies is that you can sell them, and I sold most of my PlayStation games. I still own, because I still play it from time to time, a game which is called LittleBigPlanet, which is the last game which was published in 2014. I remember when as a kid I played the first game, and I basically spent half of my childhood, like when I was 10, 11, 12, in this 2D platformer by Media Molecule. Like, the third one is not by Media Molecule, it's by Sumo Digital, but the first 2 games were done by Media Molecule, and I have so good memories about this game. Like, all these costumes and all the levels I created. But unfortunately, this servers were also shut down, which is really, really, really sad. They just left the game to die, even though it's a PlayStation exclusive. There's one game from the franchise, a Sackboy, A Big Adventure, which also came to PC, but it is not really a 2D platformer like here, you can see it. It's not really a platformer like the first 3 games. I can't actually remember the names of these guys. I think this one was Toggle. No, this one was Toggle, I think. And this is... oh, I forgot the names. Really sad. I haven't touched this game in a while though. Ah, here are they. They are called Oddsock, Toggle and Swoop. And obviously Sackboy. There was this one back in the early 2000s, like this emo hair kind of thing, which was really popular. Like they had all these DLC costumes, like licensed costumes, which was pretty popular. Yeah, I miss this game, man. I really wish I could just play it once more with all the friends I used to have back then. And I sometimes think, like when I'm in the shower, I think like, oh man, what happened to all my friends which I played this with, like virtually? I wonder what they're doing right now. Kinda getting nostalgic. We have like another copy. Yes, I'm one of the fanboys who bought Skyrim like 10 times. You gotta give Todd Howard the money. I'm one of the persons who bought this game like 10 times. Yeah, it's basically the special edition, which includes all the DLCs in the base game. To the base game. Yeah, nothing more to add. I played like one playthrough on this game, on the PlayStation. Probably the most disappointing game for me so far. Like this game had so many high anticipations, and I had so many big expectations about this game. And the game itself is pretty okay. It's like, I would say, average of 5 out of 10. The state of the game by the time it was published was absolutely disastrous. Especially on the older consoles, like on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. This was literally unplayable, and I mean it. It felt like 20 FPS or something. But they fixed the game a few years later. It's still not the game they promised, in my opinion. Like, I played it on PC with a better graphics card and so on. But I only played it once. I haven't played it since. Usually I go for a second or third or fourth run when I enjoy a game. But this one was just another open world. City verändert alles. Cyberpunk 2077 ist ein Open-World-Action-Adventure, das in Night City spielt, einer Megalopolis, deren Bewohner von Macht, Glamour und Körpermodifikation besessen sind. Du schlüpfst in die Rolle von V, einem gesetzlosen Söldner auf der Suche nach einem einzigartigen Implantat, dem Schlüssel zur Unsterblichkeit. Cyberware, Skillset und Spielstil deines Charakters können dabei nach Belieben angepasst werden. Entdecke eine riesige Stadt, in der deine Entscheidungen alles verändert werden. Compendium, which I haven't read, and also some postcards like this. I really like these goodies from video games. Or what else? Like this one, bar scene. What was the bar called again? The Afterlife or something? I don't know. in no specific order are Skyrim, The Witcher 3, and Red Dead Redemption 2, which are all open world role-playing games. But there are also story-driven games, which I really enjoy, which is Telltale's The Walking Dead, or Life is Strange, which gets a new game pretty soon. Chloe Price and Chloe Price and Max Caulfield return, which is really nice. I really liked the first game of Life is Strange. The second one was really boring, and True Colors was okay in my opinion. It was not that great and not as good as the first game, but I found it pretty much alright. I liked the protagonist, but I already forgot her name. What was it? Alex Chen. Which was Alex Chen. I really liked her as a protagonist. Cyberpunk. There was also an anime which was set in the Cyberpunk universe, which was Blade Runners, and it was one of the very few animes I watched. Let's wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this little ramble of mine about video games. I would like to know if you do play video games as well. If you do, feel free to comment your favorite games. And as always, I appreciate feedback. If you enjoy my videos, a subscription and a like on this video, because it helps growing the channel a lot in general. So if you see a content creator or YouTuber which you like on YouTube, giving a like and subscribe and a comment really does make a difference for him or her. So, that being said, I hope you have a good night or good day. Yeah, I see you in my next videos.